Morning Edition MP says tough times call for tough measures. The budget debate has started. House Speaker says no to recordings. And yes, Charles Fisher is still on Long Island. We will be joining him there. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Edition on this terrific Thursday. I'm LaDawn Davis. Your possibilities are great today. Before we move on with the news, let's check in with our weatherman, Basil Dean, to see what's in store for us weather-wise. Basil?
Good morning, LaDawn. The ZNS Tower Camp picking up partly cloudy skies over the Paradise Island area. In the tropics, nothing is happening out there, and we don't anticipate any development over the next 5 days. But in the Gulf of Mexico, still have lots of showers being influenced by a low-level trough, and that's affecting the Texas and Louisiana area as it continues to push towards the east. Outside of our studios, partly cloudy, temperature at 76 degrees, relative humidity 88%, east-southeast winds at 4 miles per hour. The barometric pressure 1,014.3 millibars. That's 29.98 inches, and it is steady. Temperatures around the islands this morning: 79 in Marsh, Abaco, Green, Turtle Key, 79 in Freeport, Grand Bahama, the Berry Islands, 80 degrees, 81 in Alistan, Bimini, 79 in Harper Island, Roxanne, Eleuthera, Artistan, Cat Island, Stanley Key, Kemps Bay, all at 79 degrees. Fresh Creek in Central Andros at 80 degrees, 79 in San Salvador, also Rum Key at 79 degrees, some 80s in Regatta Island, Clarence Sound, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay 79, Ackland 79, Matthew also 79, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 80 degrees. Your boating forecast for today for all areas: southeast winds 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet. High tide 9:47 this morning. The low tide will take place at 3:51 this afternoon. That's going to do it for your first look at weather, the Morning Edition. Stay tuned. Your forecast for today and tonight is still ahead.
Thanks a lot, Basil. Now on to our top story this morning. The debate in the House of Assembly went well into the evening Wednesday as members from the government adding their support for a number of reasons. Member of Parliament for North Eleuthera, Ricky Mackey, says tough times call for tough measures, while Central and South Eleuthera Member of Parliament Hank Johnson contends that the capital project component of the budget in the form of the Disney deal is a step toward economic strengthening.
Able to do whatever we put our mind to. So let's not sell ourselves short because we cut back on some of the things that we were once able to do because the money was there. But if it's no longer there now, pull up your socks and do what you have to do. Some of the highlights from the heads of agreement, which was also given to Disney by the good people of South Eleuthera, in black and white today, is part of Disney's commitment to develop just 20% of the property, with much of it identified for low-density use. $250 to $400 million will be invested.
During the morning session of the House of Assembly yesterday, just before the people's business began, the Speaker of the House, the Honorable Holston Moultrie, cited the criminal offenses and the penalties relating to strangers who affect Parliament proceedings. The announcement comes on the heels of an incident that took place last week during the House proceedings where a member of the well-known Chipman family had an outburst which was openly recorded on various cell phones and sent viral in minutes. Chipman was arrested and later released. The Speaker noted that any recordings or proceedings of Parliament cannot be broadcast without clearance from the presiding officer of Parliament. He said the broadcast of last Wednesday's disturbance in the media and on social media resulted in a very serious threat to the security of Parliament and the senators and members. Labor Minister the Honorable Dion Fugg says he has mixed emotions ahead of the upcoming Labor Day parade. However, this will mark the one-year anniversary of the tragic event from the 2018 parade that saw 4 people killed after a truck on the parade mowed them down. The Labor Minister shared his feelings.
As you know, 4 of our sisters tragically passed as a result of a very unfortunate accident. And the labor movement, they have decided this year to dedicate the entire week to their memory. We also celebrate the life and the contribution of Sir Randall Fox's wife, Lady Jacqueline Fox, who recently passed. we're also celebrating that this week. One of the things that gives me a lot of hope for the future for workers in the country is that all of the unions, they've come together now for the second time to have one unified march and unified rally. And this is very good in terms of the strength of the workers' representatives in the country.
It's a day before hundreds of Bahamians in the workforce hit the streets for the Sorrento Fox Labor Day March. Last year's parade was marred by tragedy after a truck revered off the road, killing 4 people and injuring several others. Wreaths were laid at gravesites to remember the fallen 4 this week. Acting Director of Labor John Pinder says while last year was a sad occasion, he is encouraging local marching bands to assist them by providing music at this year's parade.
Fortunately, they will recognize those 4 ladies that died as a result of participating in last year's Labor Day parade. They'll be recognized this year. They made some adjustments not to allow vehicles on the parade. Parade, I believe, is one parade again, and they're showing unity. I think that's important. And sad what happened last year, because for the most part, Labor Day parade depends on the trucks with their music. But now I want to encourage all the marching bands and, those groups that are able to participate in the parade to provide some sort of music to come out there and march with the Labor Day parade.
Minister of Health, Dr. the Honorable Dwayne Sands, is weighing in on an article that's been circulating on social media for weeks now that nearly 500 Bahamians have died from cancer in 2018. The article also revealed information about non-communicable diseases. The health minister told ZNS News on Tuesday that the Bahamas has not published any data from 2018, calling the data published questionable.
There's a particular website that has extrapolated data on the basis of previous levels. But we certainly have not released any information to the World Health Organization or to the Pan American Health Organization because we don't know what our 2018 statistics show. We have created a cancer registry. It is now staffed, and for the first time, we will be able to look at cases of cancer among Bahamians and look at outcome data, look at prevalence information, so how many women with breast cancer, how many men with prostate cancer. We know that Bahamians have the worst breast cancer in the world.
And still to come, the Long Island Regatta is in full swing, and our Charles Fisher is there, not only covering Regatta, but the entire Long Island. When we return, the Kingfisher in Long Island. So stay close.
ZNS is very informative to me. It keeps you up to date on what's going on in the Bahamas, and you get to hear it firsthand early in the morning.
And the winner is Naya Bandelier, Miss World Bahamas 2019. Those were the words uttered on May 26 before a capacity crowd at the Atlantis Theater, Paradise Island, and an international audience watching by way of live stream. This morning we welcome Naya Bandelier and, of course, Michelle Malcolm, who is the president of the Miss World Bahamas organization. Ladies, welcome to the morning edition.
Good morning.
Good morning, thank you.
So Naya, what was your initial reaction, your thoughts rather, when you were named, Miss Bahamas World?
Honestly, I was completely lost for words, but my first sentence was, thank you, God. I really felt it was something that He had destined and planned for my life, and I'm just blessed beyond measure.
And Michelle, talk to me a little bit about, as winner, what are some of the prizes Naya is entitled to?
Well, one of the biggest prizes she gets is a year's employment with Alive as their newest brand ambassador. She gets to travel to Thailand for the Miss World pageant, which is going to be held on December 7th, and she'll spend an entire month in Thailand. She gets a cash prize, she gets a full wardrobe. It's a long list of prizes, but she'll be happy by the end of the year, I'm sure.
And Naya, what is your platform and how do you plan to carry out for the entire year?
Well, my platform is on bringing awareness on plastic pollution. So, of course, I plan on working with various organizations, and I have a lot of school visits that I have in mind that I really want to start working on. And I'm working on my Beauty with a Purpose project for the Miss World pageant as well. And I already started to put together my community efforts, such as holding a mesh bag drive, to start to get Bahamians more involved on our 2020 ban as well on all plastic, single plastic use. So I'm pretty excited of what this year has in store.
And Michelle, when is the actual Miss World pageant, and is our queen actually ready for that pageant?
Well, she will be ready by the time she gets there, I will tell you that. She actually arrives in Thailand on November 7th, and they'll be there an entire month. The pageant will be December 7th. And we are now in the process of putting together the final plans for her training and coaching, and we're bringing in international coaches, and she's just going to be really, really well prepared. And so by the time she gets on November 7th, game over.
Miss Bahamas World, Naya Vandeleer, Michelle, Malcolm, thank you guys so much for joining us here on the Morning Edition, and best of luck on your endeavors.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much. It's regatta time again, and a number of boats from the A through C classes will set sail on the high seas for a worthy cause and bragging rights. One of them is newcomer to sailing, the Baby Harriet. The new boat was freshly built just in time for the South Andros homecoming set for this weekend, June 6th to the 10th. But just how expensive is boat building? We caught up with a member of a local family and others to find out.
It may not be finished yet, but once completed, this nicely carved, classy vessel will be painted black and white with a splash of gold, with the name Baby Harriet printed on it. The new sailboat, which cost some $40,000 to build, will be among the contenders, with the skipper and his crew hitting the high seas at this year's South Andros homecoming. Owner Leon Lundy says while boat building can cost a hefty penny, improving the economy of South Andros is worth every dime.
We started the project last year and was supposed to finish it. Unfortunately, my father passed away, so we kind of put it on hold. What we wanted to do is become basically a part of the community and really integrate with them in what they felt strong about. So I know a lot of the guys were talking about sailing and asking me if I was going to sponsor one of the boats to see if they would win. I say, better yet, we might as well build it. And what we're going to do for the boat, we're going to actually name it in the name of my grandmother, and it's going to be called the Baby Harriet. And I told Mr. Rowe, Basil Rowe down there, that I'm coming for his trophies.
Family member Alfred Stewart says Androsian Clayton Bain was the mastermind behind building the C-Class boat, which he says will take $3,000 to $5,000 to paint. But just how long did it take for the boat to get to this point?
I would say from start to finish right now, probably about 1.5 years, almost 2 years. When the boat is done and finished, we're going to need at least 4 to 5 guys to actually sail the boat in the homecoming regatta. And a gentleman named Basil Rowe is actually looking into that for us right now, hoping he will come true. Not hoping that he comes true, but I'm sure Basil will find us a nice captain for the boat.
While encouraging Bahamians to invest in building a boat, an excited Stewart told us that Baby Harriet is expected to be shipped to South Andros on the Captain Moxie this week.
Every Bahamian that has a passion for sailing and a love for the community or the island that they actually come from should invest in a sailboat. All right, they should invest in a sailboat. Whether you be from Abaco, Inagua, or even Auckland, you should invest in a sailboat. All right, because why? It represents you as an individual, and you're also representing a greater cause, your family.
And like we said, Charles Fisher is in Long Island having a blast with the natives. He caught up with some fashion designers who have an actual clothing line over in Long Island. Here's his report.
They are calling themselves the new fashion statement on the island. The Starfish Traders, started by 3 friends.
We decided to use the natural stuff that we have here, like the straw, and incorporate it with the fabric. And we come together and we're trying to make things from Long Island and not China. People come to our island and they're looking for stuff, and when they say, is this from China? They don't believe what we do. Bahamians have talent. Long Islanders have talent. So right now we are showcasing what we can do here on Long Island to promote the Bahamas.
All with some artistic talent. But how did they get started?
there was a few persons from away. Some missionaries were asking people to come and learn how to sew freely. They were giving free lessons, and she told me to go because I never liked sewing. I'm more with the craft stuff than sewing, so I went, and when I saw what was happening, I told her to come. I encouraged her to come, but she already know how to do that.
Their hope is to expand the business outside of Long Island.
Right now, we have a connection with Sandpiper in Exuma, and there had been folks who were just buying and taking back to the U.S., and plus we have it on Facebook, on Etsy. You can go on, you can order, and we could ship it to you. We're in the Bahamas, really.
Look like I'll be picking this one up for my little girl. I'll be taking this home for the wife. Jimmy, LaDawn, Tanya. Not in my good books today, so I don't think I'll be bringing you back anything.
Oh, that sucks, Fisher. Our Jimenita Swain and the traffic team is standing by with the Bahamas' first traffic report. Drones up!
The traffic report is sponsored by Bahamas First. First in insurance. Today, tomorrow.
Good morning, LaDawn, and good morning, Bahamas. We're coming to you live from Boston Square. Pretty much a smooth-flowing morning for persons traversing Bay Street, making their way to work. But of course, tomorrow is a big day for workers in the country as we will celebrate Labor Day. Now, to find out what you need to know traffic-wise, we now turn to Corporal Decore Barr of the Police Traffic Division. Good morning, Corporal Barr.
Good morning, Jimenita. Good morning, Bahamas.
Now, as I mentioned, of course, tomorrow is Labor Day. A major parade is planned. Can you give us an idea of what the route will be?
Yes, tomorrow, say the Surroundal folks Labor Day parade would commence leaving from the Windsor Park, which is at East Street, just north of Wolf Road. The parade would travel from that area north on East Street onto Bay Street, traveling west on Bay Street to Navy Lion Road, Marlborough Street, and continuing west on West Bay to Arawaki, where they would conclude.
Now, we know at the last year we saw an accident that claimed the lives of 4 persons, and I know that there has been some changes to the parade. So what kind of changes can we expect to see tomorrow?
One major change we would see from years past is that there would be absolutely no vehicles on the route of the parade. Any group that would have to or feel the need that they'd want a vehicle on the parade, that vehicle would have to bring up the tail end of the parade, but they'd not be able to travel or commute through the procession.
So we expect to see traffic officials out in full force to ensure that the parade is properly managed?
Yes, the Commissioner of Police's intention is to properly police this event, with that not only traffic officers, we'd have officers along the route of the parade from start to finish.
Well, thank you so much. That is, of course, Corporal Decore Barr of the Police Traffic Division. Remember that tomorrow is the Serrano Fox Labor Day Parade, and you may need to make adjustments unless you plan to participate. Back to you in Studio LaDawn.
Thanks a lot, Jimenita. And when we come back, it's sports live in Long Island with our Charles Fisher, so stay close.
Good morning. What a view in the backdrop of the sloops. The sails are down, but it's going to be a busy day of sailing here in the 52nd Long Island Regatta in beautiful Sword Pond. And what a way to wake up. The sun is in the background. The breeze is down. And yesterday they only had one race. If you were following it from day number 1, the late arrival of the barge, and then the boats did not come off until 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon. And they were only able to get in one race yesterday. And winning that race was Running Tide in Class A. Coming in second was Legend. Red Stripe was third. Rough Justice fourth. Air Sky fifth, and Good News was 6th. Also in that race was the Southern Cross. The Southern Cross, we're going to get Captain Black in here. Female Black, you can walk in here. From your left, I don't know, from your left now, so it's been a rough chance for you guys. You broke your mast coming through the Paradise Island Bridge, and then yesterday you ran aground.
Yeah, well, it was a late start, from Nassau. We attempted to come through the bridges, and we had a misfortune. The mast popped 2 of the forward riggings. So it was nothing we could do. We just had to continue on with the trip. So we got here and we had a hectic time trying to get the boat up to to protest. Finally, that was done, and we went out there just fixing as we going. And we went out there in the race, and we all started on the starting line. And Captain Josh make a history. Started on the 2 Long Island best boats, and walked from underneath, crossed them without tacking. Never have been done for quite some times.
But today you have the A-class, a final. How do you adjust now?
Well, right now today, and yesterday we had a very small sail. All the boats had on their large sails. But today we'll put on a big, the best, the biggest one, and then we'll see what go from there.
Now the Southern Cross and the rest of the A-class sloops will race later on in the evening. They'll get things started this morning with back-to-back B-class. Then they'll race a C-class. The B and the C did not race yesterday. And then the A-class later on in the afternoon, or what you say, maybe evening after 6 o'clock. But don't forget to tune in at 3:30 this afternoon for Long Island. It's Regatta time. It's our live half-hour show here from Regatta side. Not only will we be showing sailing, but we'll also be showing you sights and sounds from Long Island. LaDawn, I know you're wishing you were here, but you're not.
In our final look at weather, no activities in the tropics, but we do have a little troughing that is moving through the northwest Bahamas, heading into the central part of the country, and that will trigger 1 or 2 spotty showers today. Forecast calls for partial sunshine, still on the warm side with your high temperature getting up to 87 degrees. And tonight it's going to be partly cloudy and warm again with a low of 77. And your extended weather forecast taking us into the weekend. Lots of sunshine, but there can be 1 or 2 isolated showers popping up during the course of the day. LaDawn?
Basil, that's it for us this morning. We return next Tuesday, June 11th at 7 a.m. For the entire Morning Edition team, including Charles Fisher over in Long Island, I'm LaDawn Davis. Enjoy your holiday weekend and be safe, everyone.